Hi, my name is Ed Drozda. I'm the small business doctor with E&D Associates located in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. And today I'd like to provide a couple of tips about marketing. If you're a small business person, such as myself, you perhaps find marketing to be a little bit overwhelming. Maybe you've got the capital to go out and hire a marketing professional, maybe you don't. Most of us in small business are doing it by ourselves. That is, unless, of course, we're providing marketing services. What I'd like to do today is provide you with four simple little tips that will help you to develop good marketing material. And before we get started, I do want to remind you of one thing. You've probably heard since you were a child, content is king. Well, content is not a king by itself. Keep in mind, did you ever know of a king that didn't have a court? I rest my case. So therefore, the four tips that I've got to provide for you today. The first is intent. In fact, intention is probably one of the most important things that we do in small business. In small business, we have to have a purpose, a reason for what we're doing. In the case of marketing, we have an intent, a very specific intent in some cases, and we want to make sure that we're very clear about what it is that we, in effect, look to accomplish. The second tip that I'd like to provide, the second, what I consider a key fundamental element of marketing, is your audience. I can't stress enough that the audience, the people that you're trying to reach, is someone that you have to know very well. We've all talked about studying demographics. We know where they live, we know their ages, we know various things about them, whether they're male or female, so on and so forth. The more information we have about the audience, the more that we know about them, the more capable we are of reaching them effectively. The third fundamental to marketing is going to be the venue. And what I mean by the venue is the individual, the audience that we have defined, that we've identified, has a particular way that they like to get their information. So when I say venue, I'm not talking about necessarily a physical place, although that could be the case. But more importantly, I'm talking about where do these folks go to get their information. If my intent is to reach them, if my intent is to provide something to this audience, then I have to know where it is they're going to go to get their information. The fourth element, and probably what people consider the most important, content, is actually the fourth in the line. These are meant to be looked at in the order of occurrence: intent, audience, venue, and content. Content is informed by the first three. It's not simply enough to write a great script without having thought about what it was I intended to deliver, to whom I intended to deliver it, and where those folks are going to go to get that information. Content is informed by the first three. Content by itself rings hollow. If I create great flashy content, but the reality is I'm trying to reach an audience that's more subdued and is likely to be reading a professional journal, I'm not going to be reaching my goal. My suggestion to you is that you put the cart behind the horse. Design your intent, identify your audience, determine where the audience goes to get their information, and then, and only then, with that information in mind, create some great content. I want to thank you very much. My name is Ed Drozda, the small business doctor with E&D Associates, and I thank you for your time.